She made headlines as the twerking flight attendant who lost her job after this video went viral. Now she's speaking out in an interview with our Amber Cogliano.
She's the flight attendant whose twerking cost her her dream job.
I didn't think that, being so happy can turn into something like this.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions, and of course, somebody who is completely unwilling to accept those consequences. Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and today we're going to talk about this Alaska Airlines flight attendant who posted a twerking video of her in uniform on a plane on TikTok.com just after she finished her probationary period and should have been all set to have this job for a lengthy period of time, who got fired because of it, and now is going on Inside Edition of all places to complain, and she has a GoFundMe because you need to support her, because how dare Alaska Airlines look at her video, look at the caption of her video, and decide that this particular woman is unsuited for this particular job. Now, we're going to get into this. We are going to break this down, but before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
So real quick, I just want to say for everybody out there in the audience that I personally don't give a damn that this flight attendant was twerking on this plane, that she recorded it, that she uploaded it to TikTok.com. It doesn't bother me at all whatsoever because in all seriousness, most of the time, flight attendants do not have a very serious job. That being said, they do have broader training than you will see on your day-to-day lives, and hopefully that you will see on your day-to-day lives, and this was exemplified quite beautifully when that Canadian flight, or the Delta flight to Canada, ended up flipping upside down, and the flight attendants performed absolutely wonderfully there, getting all the passengers off the plane safely, and I will give them credit for that. But that being said, most of the time, these people are serving you coffee. They might clean the bathroom occasionally throughout the course of a flight. They might give you a little bit of chips, a little bit of snacks, nothing all that serious. So to me, the fact that this girl is enjoying herself, that she's having a good time, or anything of the sort is not something that I would get outraged of. It's not something that I would even retweet when people were complaining about this back when this was originally a story. That being said, you have to understand that she is in uniform at work doing this for social media fame, and obviously a company might look at that and say that this is not a good look. Way back in the day when I was looking for jobs, when I was a very young man right out of high school, people warned me about the things that I would post on social media and how those could have consequences for future employers. Now, of course, back in the day, we're talking about MySpace and Zanga because I'm such an old, horribly decrepit man, but today, the modern version of that is TikTok.com, and obviously she understood that this had the chance of going viral, and yeah, maybe you don't do this. Maybe you just, have your job and enjoy yourself, because a flight attendant position is a very cool position for a young person to have. You get to travel the world, you get to experience all these different countries at very low cost, you spend a lot of time in hotels, and let us be 100% clear, twerking is the least questionable thing a female flight attendant in and around this age has done. If you know, you know. If you've met any of them, if you've encountered them, then you get what I mean, and we're just gonna leave it right there.
Nell Diallo was having a great time dancing and twerking in the aisle on an empty plane before an early morning flight.
I decided to just take advantage of the moment to wake myself up and kind of get myself hyped up for my day, basically.
Now, I also want to say that I found her excuse to be ridiculous and absurd. The idea that she was just trying to wake herself up, get herself energized for the day, and this was the only way that she needed to do this, and it needed to be recorded, and it needed to be uploaded on TikTok.com is absurd, and it just shows you that this person has escaped accountability for most of her life, because this is how she's operating. Basically, any kind of consequence that has ever been directed towards her is an unfair, prejudicial maneuver against her, and it's absolutely sad, and we should feel terrible for her because, oh my god, she's just had such a sad life. Now, in reality, in actuality, this is a normal consequence that you can face if you're caught on video at work doing something during your work time in uniform, especially if the company thinks that will give it a bad look. Now, of course, again, if I were Alaska Airlines, I probably wouldn't have fired her. I would have told her not to do this on TikTok.com, don't do it in her uniform, take the video down, but to me, this wouldn't have been such a big deal, but you can understand how a company would find this a big deal. And this woman's total lack of accountability, total lack of accepting consequences does not help her in my mind. And honestly, it just kind of makes me laugh.
She posted the video on TikTok along with the caption, "What's wrong with a little twerk before work?" But after the video went viral, she says Alaska Airlines fired her.
Now look, I'm not questioning the journalistic integrity of Inside Edition, who is covering the story that absolutely does not matter at all whatsoever. That being said, if you're gonna tell us what the caption was for this particular video, then you should give us the whole caption, because it was not just "what's wrong with a little twerk before work," it also had this little tagline attached to it that I find to be absolutely hilarious. The video was captioned "Ghetto Bih, B-I-H, till I die," all caps. "Don't let the uniform fool you." Now look, again, I will emphasize, I'm not somebody who gets oversensitive about this kind of stuff. I'm not somebody who wants normal, regular people to lose their job just because they made a stupid mistake. But the fact of the matter is, this woman is incredibly unlikable, because not only does she refuse to take any accountability at all whatsoever, but she's also accusing the airline of racism in the prelude for her to sue Alaska Airlines for discrimination over this particular firing, because apparently the twerk is actually geared to an urban audience, and therefore Alaska Airlines is shutting her down. They're wiping her out just because she was trying to speak to the people, the real people, the non-white people, and it's absolutely disgusting and shameful that Alaska Airlines would be discriminating against her, again, according to the potential lawsuit. This is ridiculous. It is not discrimination for you to be fired for doing something you're not supposed to do in uniform during work time. We all understand this. This is a basic consequence. While I don't want regular people being fired from their job, the fact of the matter is, the fact that she has to escalate this, she can't even apologize, she can't even try to make nice with Alaska Airlines, and now she's threatening to sue them, makes me lose all sympathy for her. Again, twerking is behavior. It is not an innate characteristic.
What did they say to you?
They just said that I broke their social media policy.
Nell had only been on the job for 6 months. She says she was twerking to celebrate the end of her probationary period.
Why did you decide to post the video?
And I was really proud of myself that I came so far. I just didn't think that my video and my post and the way I was dancing would be deemed as inappropriate.
Again, they ask her this particular question, and she says, "Look, I was celebrating the fact that I came so far and I had accomplished something, and I never thought in my entire life that me sexually suggestively dancing on a plane in uniform would be taken as any form of inappropriate. Who possibly could have considered that this would have been a thing?" And the answer to that question is obviously everyone. Everyone could understand that a company would react this way. Companies are very skittish with a bunch of different topics, with a bunch of different actions. They seem to fire people over this viral stuff all of the time. So again, the answer to your question, lady, is everyone. Everyone could have seen this coming except for you. And I will also point out that holding down a job for 6 months, while it is minorly commendable, is maybe not the great achievement that you're thinking it is that is worthy of this celebration. Now, of course, again, I will emphasize, I would not have fired her. I would have talked to her, told her enough with the social media, don't do this stuff in uniform, it's a bad look and whatnot. But the fact of the matter is, this woman cannot take any form of accountability, and it's absurd.
So how did you feel in that meeting when they told you you lost your job?
I put on such a proud face every time I stepped on that plane. And for them to terminate me without giving me a chance, it just was unfair.
Again, I'm gonna keep hitting this point home because I think it is important for everybody out there in the audience, and maybe for you if you are an aspiring young flight attendant, an attractive woman who likes to have fun on social media. They did give her a chance. They gave her a 6-month probation period. All she had to do was not violate the policies of the airline, and she would have been good to go. She would have still been on planes at this very moment, having a good time, just not, as a social media star in the Alaska Airlines uniform. They gave her every possible chance. She just decided to ignore them, ignore their policies, and again, it still to this very day is playing victim, is playing like she's gonna sue them for discrimination, because apparently it is just an innate characteristic if you hire somebody of this ethnic origin, which by the way is totally indiscernible to me at this moment in time, that you are going to get twerking on a plane prior to work. I mean, she was just trying to rev herself up in order to get prepared for her day, and how could she ever possibly do her duties as a flight attendant without dancing suggestively on a plane prior to the boarding of said plane. I mean, could you do that? Probably not.
A representative from Alaska Airlines tells us they don't comment on personnel matters.
This woman also has a GoFundMe, if you can believe it. She decided that she is worthy of money in order to support her because of her wrongful firing, and unfortunately for her, she has only raised $3,300 at the moment in time that I'm recording this video. Now, of course, this is $3,300 too many. You should not donate any money to her at all whatsoever, but if she was thinking that she was going to kind of spin this off into some kind of social media success, maybe join that very special platform that young ladies tend to join, it doesn't seem, based on that $3,300, that there's all this demand for her services or for her performances that you would typically see on that particular website. However, I am open to be proven wrong in the future. Now, of course, I want to leave this up to you guys out there in the audience. I want to know what you think about her initial firing, which I think is separate from her reaction post-firing, and whether or not you think Alaska Airlines is going to give this woman money based on this threat of a discrimination lawsuit, or you believe logically that there is no discrimination here, this is just behavior. And despite the fact that she says that this was done for an urban environment, now of course it was done in order to jazz herself up to be a flight attendant, but also it was intended for an urban audience, if you think that that's not going to fly in court. Again, all your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about a flight attendant potentially suing for discrimination because she was fired for poor behavior. Till next time.